Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. And again, we will continue IBO 01. And in the previous video, I have explained you all the important questions from Unit 1 to Unit 10. And in this video, we'll be starting from Unit 11. And Unit 11 is regional economic groupings. Now, this is also one of the very important chapter, and you must, revise this chapter properly. Let's try to find out what is REG, that is regional economic groupings. This question came in June 2022. Okay, just let me brief you up that regional economic groups are the associations formed by a country situated in a particular region or area. Okay, like examples are European Union or Asian. So all the countries which are located in a particular region, they form a group to carry out trade. And these are the different forms of REG, that means different types of REG, that is preferential trade areas, free trade areas, custom union, common markets, then monetary union. So it can take any shape. Okay. The next connected topic is impact of regional economic groupings. Now, this question also came in the previous exams, so let's skip this question for now and move on to the next unit, that is Unit 13. Unit 12 is not like so much of important unit, that's why I've skipped that. Unit 13 is international financial institutions. Now, what are the important financial institutions in this world? These are all the topics of this unit. We'll start with IMF, International Monetary Fund. It is an international organization that aims to accomplish a number of different goals. These include reducing global poverty, encouraging international trade, and promoting financial stability and economic growth of the countries. And IMF was created in 1945, and its headquarters are in Washington, D.C., America. And till now, there are 190 members of IMF, and just now I told you about the main objectives of IMF, and its main functions are also like that, like economic surveillance, that means to promote stability, economic stability of the member nations, to lend money to the developing and poor countries, to provide technical assistance to the member countries. The next institution is World Bank. It is also known as IBRD, International Bank for Reconstruction and Development. Now, this bank also provides, like more or less, they have the same type of functions, but basically it aims on reconstruction and development of the developing countries. And most of the members, they provide subscription so that this institution can provide loans to the developing and underdeveloped countries. These are the main roles of the World Bank, that is to introduce economic reforms all over the world, to invest in educating people and developing their skills, to introduce health, nutrition, and family planning programs, to protect the environment, to grow and develop private sectors, to reduce unemployment and poverty, and to work with IMF to solve the economic problems and world trade. So, like this, let's move on to the next financial institutions, regional development banks. Now, this question also came, quite a number of times in the exams. Basically, there are three types of regional banks, like the main important type of regional banks. The first one is the Inter-American Development Bank. The second one is the Asian Development Bank and African Development Bank. So the first bank is related with America, the second one is with Asia, and the third one Africa. So all the countries which lie in these continents, they provide finance, technical assistance, they also provide for the technology and developing the infrastructure. Okay. The next unit is settlement of international trade disputes. Now again, this is also a very very important question unit, and you can expect, in fact, one question from this unit. And basically, where there is trade, there is dispute. So wherever there are disputes, so that can be settled in many ways. So let's try to find out the different methods to settle international disputes. Now you can see on your screen that there are three methods: litigation, arbitration, and conciliation. Okay. Now litigation is the process of taking a dispute to a court of law. That means make a file. मतलब केस करना सामने वाली पार्टी पे. And if the party fails to settle a dispute outside the court, तो they can take that dispute to the court of law. इसके कुछ ड्रॉबैक्स हैं, लिमिटेशंस हैं, जैसे द कोर्ट प्रोसीडिंग्स आर वेरी स्लो एंड टाइम कंज्यूमिंग, एक्सपेंसिव, then it affects the reputation of the companies and parties like that. Okay, now let's see what is arbitration. Now it is a written agreement about a dispute submitted by one of the party or maybe both the parties, that if in future or during the trade, if there are any disputes, that will be settled by one of the third party. Okay, so or the third party is here is called an arbitrator. So he will settle the dispute. So it is just a probable settlement of disputes before the trade agreements begin, right? In conciliation, or in other words, it is also known as ADR, that is alternative dispute resolution. Now it is a process whereby the parties appoint a conciliator who meets both the parties to resolve the disputes outside the court. Okay, so there are no legal proceedings here, only one third party is appointed and he tries to settle the disputes. So I have written one short note on this, like how, like in ADR, how the dispute is settled. It may be by negotiation, it may be by mediation, or it may be by arbitration. So all these three methods are so important. You might get in short notes, in long questions, in comments. So you must read, revise these three things, very important one. Okay, now let's move on to the next question. Indian Contract Act 1872. Now it contains all the rules and laws relating to contracts in India, and basically it was framed by the English people, because this contract came into force in 1872. So a lot of time. So there are 266 sections in this, divided into two parts. Part 1 contains all general principles of law of contract, and part 2 contains all laws relating to sale of goods, partnership, indemnity, guarantee, like that. And the major issues in the settlement of international trade disputes. Now this question also came in June 2022 examination. So for the time being, let's skip this question. But that doesn't mean that you will not study these questions. Just go through this, don't give much importance. Okay friends, let's move on to the next concept. Role of International Chamber of Commerce, that is ICC, in settling disputes. Okay, now this is one of the international organizations which helps to settle trading disputes. And there are a lot of countries who are members of this ICC, and it performs many functions, and it is just a platform where the member countries can settle their disputes. It looks after the problems of cooperation, companies, organizations, firms, individuals carrying on trade and their business uh, all over the world. So it strives for harmonious and unrestricted growth of international commerce through consistent participation in the economic and legal fields. And it also provides expert and practical services, advices to the international businessmen. Okay, so let's move on to the next unit, that is Unit 18, International Trade in Services. Now, this is also a very important unit, you cannot escape this. Trade in services refers to sale and delivery of intangible product, that is service. And we cannot see, feel, touch the services, so these are known as intangible. And this is one of the, this is also known as tertiary sector and a very rising sector in the world economy. And it provides employment opportunities, it helps to grow GDP of the country or national income, It is a very good source to earn foreign exchange, so it is very important. Trade in services. The different types of challenges and issues are also there in marketing of services. Like services are inseparable. It cannot be separated from the service providers. So that creates one of the issues in marketing of services. And the services may be heterogeneous. They are not homogeneous as in the case of the product. It depends on the mood of the service provider. So like that, it is intangible. You cannot take ownership of a service. It always lies with the service provider. And services are perishable. That means once you consume the service of a person, it will perish, it will vanish, and it is very difficult to measure the service in units, as because it is a qualitative aspect. Okay, the next unit is international business ethics. Now what is this ethics or code of ethics? It is a set of principles designed to conduct business honestly, and the ethical principles are based on the organization's core values and standards. It is the best practices to follow for honesty, integrity, and professionalism. So these are all the code of conduct or code of ethics which a company must follow while trading on an international level. Now there are some unethical practices carried out by MNCs, multinational corporations, like misleading product information, unfair advertisement and competition, mistreating and exploiting the employees, manipulating of accounts to skip taxes. This is one of the very important point. Charging of overpriced to the customers, and unhealthy and unsafe products. So like this, you can expand these points, very easy points. Okay. Unit 20 is on electronic commerce. Electronic commerce is like buying and selling goods through internet or computers or mobile phones. It is so simple, very rising sector. And there are different types of e-commerce models, like B2B, that is business to business. Then we have business to consumers, then consumer to consumer, and consumer to business. So basically we use these four models in e-commerce. There are a lot of advantages, like the sellers can reach worldwide by using e-commerce, and it reduces the transaction cost, and therefore the cost of the product ultimately decreases. It provides for quick delivery of goods, and one more advantage is that a customer can buy and sell at any time he likes, 24 into 7. Few disadvantages are there. The startup cost of the e-commerce portals are very very high. So that is one of the problem, because you have to maintain all hardware and software. Then you have to train the employees, so like that. Okay, and it has a very high risk of failure. Many companies, they started and now they have been collapsing. And actually e-commerce is not suitable for products and services which requires personal services. So that is one of the problem. Security is a big problem. So like this, the next question is global trade point network, that is GTPN. This question also came in June 2022, and basically it was a project developed to promote electronic commerce and designed to help small and medium sized companies to promote international trade. And it was launched by UNCTAD and worldwide. It covers nearly about 140 trade points and 80 countries, and it stimulates the exchange of large number of electronic trade opportunities. The main object is to simplify trade procedures. So like that, there are a lot of points, and these are the main important objectives of GTPN. To make international trade transactions more efficient by simplifying the trade processes, to provide traders with trade information, technology, network support, training, like that, to promote new commercial partnerships between international traders through electronic information communication links, like that. So friends, that's all in this video, and all these are the important questions you must revise before the exams, and a very best of luck for the exam. And those students who wish to purchase my study materials of MCOM can message me through Telegram channel. the link of which is provided in the description box. Thank you very much.